Welcome back to the Adaptive Athlete Podcast. I'm your host, Matt Hotho. On today's episode, I'm talking with David Kellam. David competes in the Seated 1 division. Seated 1 is for athletes who don't have hip function. And in David's case, this means that he really can't use a lot of his lower abdomen, and he really doesn't have a lot of core stability. So what you'll hear in the story is how that lack of core stability impacts him and causes him to have to adapt during his workouts and during competition. And speaking of competition, David is a multi-year competitor at the CrossFit Games. He competed in the 2023 mid-WOD Games and the 2024 CrossFit Adaptive Games. And this weekend, he's doing the semifinals for the 2025 Adaptive CrossFit Games. And we're rooting for him to make it back to Vegas. David, welcome to the show.
What's going on, guys? How we doing?
Good, man. Dude, it's so good to have you on the podcast. We met for the first time and had an extended conversation just about a week ago in Jupiter, Florida at the Sea Dog Summer Showdown.
Yeah, man.
That was a great competition.
It was a good time. Good time for sure. It's over the that was my third one. So over time it's grown, like the adaptive community has grown quite a bit for sure.
Yeah, I think there were 20 adaptives there. Or something like that. Yeah, across a ton of different divisions.
Yeah.
And what I loved about it was a 2-day comp. So it tested the recovery.
That was the one for sure.
Yeah. Now, it didn't help that it was outdoors in Florida.
Hey, we're Floridians, so we're used to it. So that was our advantage.
That's true. That's so true, man. Brandon coming from Denver and then Jed from Idaho. I was like, guys, you don't know what's up right now.
Man.
David, you compete in what division?
So I compete in the Seated 1 division.
Okay. And that is without hip function?
Without hip function, yes, sir.
Okay. So that means that when you're doing like lifting and that kind of stuff, how does that impact you?
Well, without hip function, without core function, so for me, my feeling stops right. Your top two abs of that six pack that you got, my feeling stops right there.
Okay. So you can't like develop those muscles below those first two abs.
I mean, they could be developed because they're muscles. They're still there. I just don't feel it. And you would have to work very, 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 very hard on developing those muscles and targeting those muscles all the time to make them work and strong. I mean, over time, they do get stronger. The muscles do get stronger because you are moving, you are doing things. So, and over time, you realize like, oh, shoot. Yeah, I can do that. Oh, wow. That's a little bit easier than before.
Yeah.
But yeah, those muscles they're still there, but I can't activate them.
Yeah. So when a well-meaning coach tells you to work on your midline stabilization, you're like,
yeah. I mean, I would still work on it because you could find things. I mean, like I said, I had a coach, Jed was my coach at one point. And he worked on my core quite a bit. That also helps with different lifting. And you definitely can tell a difference when you're working on that core. It's a little bit more, you get a little bit more stabilized, and you can feel it feels different when you're pulling up some weight.
Oh, that's really interesting, David. So sorry to my earlier comment where I was like, no on midline stabilization, because I was totally naive there, because I guess the idea is, you can actually develop those muscles through certain kind of exercise.
Still there. They still fire.
Yeah.
You're just not firing them.
You're not firing them, but there is still sort of a way that your body might sort of instinctively fire them sometimes.
Right.
Okay. So what kind of exercises did Jed have you do to kind of build them?
Crawling, actually.
Okay.
So a lot of crawling. So on the ground on all fours, and you put your hand forward, and you kind of swing with your knees, bringing each knee forward, but you're also pulling that core. So that helps with the core. Also the uh deadlifts on the bench. So you get the bar up under the bench and you just do some deadlifts on that.
Okay. Is that those
Yep.
deadlifts where like you see the bar is basically directly under the bench? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
So when you do that, what kind of weight do you deadlift when you do
Eesh.
something like that?
I'm not a strong deadlifter because of the injury.
Yeah.
But I think I did get 145 at one point.
Okay.
I think I did. I'm a better dumbbell deadlifter
Okay.
because I could use arms and back.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, and me being high, my arms and back really help on those dumbbell deadlifts.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
So let's talk about that distinction that you said of you being a high seated, right? So
Uh-huh.
within your division of seated one, there's subcategories.
Yes.
Okay. And so you, because you said what your feeling stops at those upper two abs, you would be considered high.
Yeah.
And then there's other divisions below that.
Yes. There are other divisions that have the whole abdomen function.
Yeah,
And
because I
fire
think
can use
Ogar
them.
said he's got most of his
Yeah.
abs, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ogar's got most of his abs. Um, Seated two have hip,
Yeah.
so they have hip function, which is huge.
Yeah. Right. Right.
I mean, even those abs, like those, all the abs, that's huge. That's
Mm-hmm.
humongous, man. If I had that,
Be lifting a lot of weight.
yeah, if I had that, that would be that would be very fun to
Yeah.
have that kind of function.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about before your accident, before you were a seated athlete. What kind of sports did you do before that?
I played football and I ran track.
Okay.
I was a running back here at Winter Park High School, and I got a scholarship to go up to West Virginia. It's a small Division II school called Concord University.
And you played running back there?
And I played running back there. I redshirted, and coming out of my red shirt, that's when I got my accident.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. That's awful.
Yeah, it's all good.
Okay.
It was a motorcycle accident. And yeah, that was back in 2010.
And so you've been on this journey ever since of kind of rediscovering yourself as an athlete, yourself as a person who does fitness, that kind of stuff.
Yep. I mean, I've always liked to, I was always competitive.
Yeah.
I was the guy that in middle school, I was the annoying guy that was like, "Hey, you want to race in the hallway?" That's me. That was me.
I love it.
Yeah,
I love it.
That was me.
I love it. I would have been the guy in high school like, no, we're going to get in trouble. And you would have been like, nerd.
No, I wasn't a nerd. I was like, oh man, whatever. It's like, man, you can't beat me. That's why you don't want to race me.
Right. And I'm like, yeah, I have cerebral palsy. Okay, David. That's right. I can't beat you.
But yeah, I was that guy.
That's funny.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. So then after your accident, you're like, okay, I want to find something to do. Right.
Yep.
And so did you try different sports? Yeah.
Yeah, I tried different sports. I tried cycling. I tried a little bit of sled hockey. I tried basketball, tried rugby, and like none of them really. I was never good at basketball, even before the accident. Never good at it. I like cycling. Cycling is more of a recreational thing for me. I like doing it. It's also a good cardio
Yeah.
pump for me. but yeah, I'm like I said, I'm not aerodynamic, so cycling is not too fun for me when you get into the big competitions
Yeah,
for
yeah. But
some of those guys.
do you cycle to like just get around sometimes, or did you say you don't have a bike anymore?
I don't have a bike at the time
Okay.
at the moment,
Yeah.
but I want to get another bike to just for recreational use to cycle,
Yeah.
because it's a good cardio and keeps the heart pumping for sure.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so in 2018, you
Uh-huh.
discovered CrossFit
2018,
through. Yeah, go
through
ahead.
Orla- 2018 I discovered CrossFit through Orlando Health's program. It's called the Craig Nielsen Foundation. Um, it was a program designed to help people getting out of rehab and are now like, so what do I do next after they're done with all their rehab work and all that stuff? So like when they get home,
Yeah.
they're like, I don't know what to do now. And that program started back in 2018 with my friend CJ.
So tell me about your friend CJ, because I think it's neat how you guys were friends, and then kind of your paths crossed in a really interesting
Yeah,
way.
it was pretty cool. We've what? Since we went to Maitland Middle School together. He was in 6th grade, I was in 7th grade. We used to race at the bus stop
Oh, so
together.
he'd run in the hallway with you.
Yeah,
Okay, all right.
he would race me. Yeah, he would race me. Ask him what happened. Ask him who won. Yeah, he would race me. We raced at the bus stop all the time. He was a basketball player. We went to separate high schools, but we still lived in the same area.
Okay.
But so we knew of each other. We knew each other um, after high school, and yeah, we actually. I don't want to tell you his story. I'll let you.
Yeah.
Like if you interview him, you can get his story.
Okay.
But we actually went on. What was that? 2019. 2019. We actually went on the Today Show in New York. They flew us up to New York, and we were on the Today Show. Yeah, it's
Wow.
pretty cool.
Can I find that on
Yeah.
YouTube? I'll have to look
Yeah,
for it. I'm sure it's there.
that's on YouTube. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
on YouTube. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. That was a wow. That was pretty cool
Yeah.
moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, they interviewed us. Craig and Al. Yeah, they interviewed us on the Today Show up in New York in the studio. It was pretty cool.
That's awesome. And CJ's seated like you?
Yeah, but we both are in the seated one division.
Okay.
He made the semifinals too.
Really?
Yeah.
Dude, that's so cool. I didn't catch that part of his story that like he does competitive CrossFit with you. I knew you guys did CrossFit together, but
yeah, we used to work out in the same gym. Then I moved.
okay.
So now I go to a different gym, but he still goes to the same gym.
Nice.
Yep.
Yeah, that's super cool, man. And so Orlando Health, they do a scholarship program or some sort of a program to help adaptive athletes.
Yeah, so they help adaptive athletes that want to get into adaptive space. They help with the cost of the membership for a year.
Yeah.
For the year, if somebody wants to do it. But
That's
yeah,
great.
It's pretty cool.
Have you found that there are some CrossFit gyms around you that are welcoming to adaptive athletes?
Oh yeah, there are 5, 6 of them really.
Yeah.
That are welcome to that. I mean, anywhere I go if I go to a gym, they're open arms. Everybody's really open arms they might not know what to do with an adaptive athlete,
Right.
but open arms for sure.
Do you feel like you have to like advocate for what your scaling is going to have to be and that kind of stuff, right? Like if it's like
it's not so much
burpees,
I advocate because they don't know.
Yeah.
So
okay, deal.
They don't know like what the scaling would be. I would just I know what I would be doing and I know like what the scale would be for myself.
Yeah.
So, but I do wish that there were gyms that came with like a specific workout for a seated adaptive athlete.
Okay. Yeah, just so
Right.
you kind of knew what you were getting into.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So when it
Yeah.
comes to doing CrossFit seated, do you have a
Mm-hmm.
specific wheelchair that you need for that? A specific type of chair?
I have a wheelchair from Performax. So it's called that. They call it the X chair. Um, it's really lightweight, but it's very durable.
Okay.
It's pretty cool. It's got um, it's pretty strong. It's got sturdy base. It's got a fifth wheel in the back
Hmm.
to hold you up when you're got some weight up on you and you got to lean back,
Yeah, to like
like
clean a weight to your shoulders.
clean to your shoulders or over your head,
Yeah.
or just keeps you from. It's like a tipper that keeps you from tipping back.
Yeah. Is that the chair you
Um,
were competing in at Sea Dog?
that is the chair I was
Okay.
competing in at Sea Dog. Yeah.
Gotcha. Do you have another chair, or is that really the only
I,
chair you need for CrossFit? I mean, for
well,
CrossFit purposes, I figure you have another chair for getting your.
I have an everyday chair, but you
Yeah.
could also use that chair as an everyday chair.
Hmm.
That chair could be used as an everyday chair as
Okay.
well.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah, but I like my everyday chair because it sets up a little higher.
Right. The back is a little bit higher, right? Or is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
On my everyday chair, my back is and the actual chair sits up higher too. It's not as much dump in it.
Oh, okay. Because I think I noticed that. Yeah, those Performax chairs, when you sit in them, like the wheels are kind of up around you a little bit more, right?
Yeah, it's not as much like my everyday chair. My wheels aren't super high. They're right here,
Yeah.
like right level with my thighs.
Hmm.
But yeah, with the Performax chairs, they're like you got some dump in it, and the dump also helps you with the getting leverage.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. When we were at Sea Dog, there was sort of
Uh-huh.
the terrain was a bit sandy. The
Oh
terrain
yeah,
was a bit
just a little bit.
not quite wheelchair friendly. Um,
No.
how? Because I was in the warm up area with you guys because your heat was
Uh-huh.
right before ours, and I could tell you guys were kind of like struggling on the mats a little bit and kind of figuring
Yeah.
out like how to get in and out of that place. How
Yeah.
much fatigue does it take when you're having to really like
Yeah. I mean,
push yourself through tough terrain?
pushing through that terrain it's tough, especially when you get stuck.
Yeah, yeah.
um, it's super tough. You gotta it's like a warm up really.
Hmm.
You really like you get sweaty doing that stuff, pushing through that kind of soft sand. That soft sand is really bad
Yeah,
when those front wheels dig down in the sand and you can
yeah,
barely push.
yeah,
Yeah, that soft sand's tough, and you get a workout, it starts burning.
yeah, yeah. Well, and it's certainly nothing against the crew at Sea Dog. Like, I mean, it was. I think that terrain was just rough in
Yeah.
general. And I
Well,
know.
um, the first year Sea Dogs got like there was um when we had to at that last workout when we had to spread
Yeah.
out to the first year it was kind of something like that, and I got stuck because of the sand was so
Oh, geez.
during the workout.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Oh my
So
gosh.
yeah.
Did you bring a chair person with you, like a chairperson, a chair man with you, or did you have someone from the judging
So
team?
some the first day, Donnie helped me, um, because my wife normally does. She's normally my chairman. But the second day, my wife was there
Okay.
and she helped me out. And it definitely makes a difference having someone who knows you and knows what you've been like. Because my wife knows how my work, how I move.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, she knows how to put my chair when I need it, where I need it, or if I'm coming out of the chair, where I need it, when I need it. So it makes a difference to have a wheelman that is experienced for sure. But
That's
Donnie
the
did
term
awesome.
for it. A wheelman.
Yeah,
A wheelman.
Donnie
Okay.
did awesome for just being on the spot. It
Yeah.
was, I mean, I was super thankful to have him there.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. What are
but it make
some? Go
go
ahead.
ahead.
What are a couple of things that a wheelman that like someone should know about maybe being a wheelman for a seated athlete, especially a seated one?
So seated one, well, man, again, we're up high, so we're higher injury. So if we come back, like if we're lifting and it comes up overhead and it
Mm-hmm.
goes back, and you kind of got to know if it does get out of control, move out of the way.
Yeah. Right.
Because we're gonna drop it because we don't have that core to pull back forward.
Right. Okay.
Um, yeah, and if we're coming out of the chair and doing like and then coming back to like doing like those box walks during the open.
Mm-hmm.
If we come like if we're in the chair, I mean we're out of the chair and we're coming back to our chair, get your head out of the way because we'll flop back because we don't
Oh,
have
yeah,
that core.
yeah.
Because especially when we're fatigued, we're gonna flop back, get your head back. Because my wife,
Your
unfortunately,
head's coming right in, and so
yeah.
yeah. Wow.
So my wife, unfortunately, was crazy. Uh, that when I did it, she had her head in too far, and I flopped back, and my back of my head hit her right there in the tooth.
No.
Yeah.
Did you chip her tooth?
Didn't chip it. She said it moved, but it didn't. It didn't come out. It stayed. Yeah, but it was funny the day before because my wife, she gets concussion like every year.
Okay.
So we were talking about she hadn't got a concussion this year, and
I got you, babe. All right. Well, yeah. Oh my goodness. That's insane. That's so funny. I mean, terrible for your wife, but yeah. But that's good to know what wheel men and women have to kind of keep an eye out for when they're working with a seated athlete, especially a seated one.
Brace the chair. Depending on the lift, depending on where you have to brace it.
Mm-hmm.
Hold legs during pull-ups.
Right.
Placing the chair in the right spot during rope climbs. I don't know if you saw that.
So that you can come back down to it. I didn't see your rope climbs. I think I was watching Haley doing hers.
Yeah.
What happened?
Yeah. So they did because when you're on the rope climb, you can like your wheelman can guide you back into your chair.
Okay.
They didn't know because I came back down and I basically did a split over the chair. Oh. I was like, God, you guys got my butt back to the seat of the chair.
Yeah.
So
man.
So yeah.
This is so important that I'm really glad we're having this conversation, even as kind of funny as parts of it is, because I think this is really important for able-bodied people to hear that, like, this is, it's not hard, but I had no idea.
It's not hard. It's just got to think, like being in the wheelchair, you got to think outside the box.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
And I give Kevin, him and Stouty, man, they freaking think outside the box and come up with all these workouts, and it's pretty cool, man.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty cool, good stuff.
Yeah.
For sure.
Well, let's talk about those rope climbs at Sea Dog. Was that a big deal for you, man?
Yeah, man. I mean, because I'm 250 pounds. So climbing up those ropes to 10 feet, that was a pretty big deal for me. That was one of my best moments.
That's insane. A legless 10-foot rope climb.
Yeah. Yep. Climbed them up. I got 2 of them and I was pretty happy. I was pretty stoked about that.
Yeah. That's awesome, dude. I'm excited for you. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Because then the rest of that workout was like snatching or ground to overhead.
Yeah.
And then, and you guys had box U-turns in that one, right?
Yeah, we had U-turns with that, yeah.
Because the able-bodied was mine was knee raises.
Yeah.
Hanging.
Yeah, we had U-turns.
Okay. Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
And that's also another thing that I'm okay in U-turns, but that also like swinging, like when you doing those U-turns, swinging to the left and the right. Yeah. It's kind of like whoa, because you don't have that that core stabilization.
Right. And it probably isn't worth the time to like try and strap in or anything like that in between.
Depending on what the workout is, yes, worth strapping in.
Okay.
Even if you are strapped in, you're still swinging left and right. It's just you're strapped in at the hips with that
You
chair.
wouldn't do a strap that's higher up?
So I don't have a strap that's higher because no, you kind of because if you strap yourself in higher up, um, you lose flexibility
Okay.
and flexibility like on my CrossFit chair. I tried to get the back raised a little higher,
Yeah.
and when I did that and I tried to lift in it, I was like, "Oh no, I don't like this," because I couldn't like when I lift, I couldn't get the lean back that I need to get that extra oomph to get the bar up
Okay.
because the back was stopping me because it was up too high.
Yeah. That
So
makes sense.
I had to get my friend Jerry to chop that because those backs aren't adjustable. So my friend Jerry. He's in the wheelchair as well. He does welding. So
Oh,
he chopped down the bar for me. I mean the back for me, so I was able to get lower. And then so when I'm able to get that bar here on a clean, I can lean back,
mm-hmm.
and my back leans over the back of the chair, and I can get that flexibility. So makes a difference.
Nice. Okay. So
Yeah.
your friend kind of modified your chair for you.
Yeah. Well,
And
it was at a point, and then I wanted it higher because
yeah,
I was thinking maybe if the chair is higher, I have more control. But that wasn't the
that
case
wasn't the case.
when he put it higher, because he did put it higher for me, and I was
Yeah.
like, no, I don't like this. Let's take it back
Let's take
down.
it back down. Gotcha. All
Yep.
right. So so do you have a coach at your gym?
We have coaches, but not a specific coach for me. No.
Okay. But your coaches at your gym that kind of rotate through, are they getting more versed in kind of coaching you as a seated one athlete?
Not so much at my gym per se. I kind of do my own thing. I use Will uh the robot programming.
Mm-hmm.
I use their app for my workouts.
Okay. Gotcha.
But I kind of do my own thing most of the time when I'm there. I don't really have a coach, which
Okay.
I know myself would perform much better under a coach.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Someone
Just
pushing
know,
you or someone
yeah,
kind of.
just knowing me, I know I would perform much better under a coach.
Okay. If you had a coach, what do you wish that they knew about you?
Don't be scared. I'm I'm pretty strong in most spots. I mean, I'm pretty strong, but I will teach you what you need to do to keep everything safe because I know that's what most people worry about,
Mm-hmm.
safety.
See, I don't know. When I think about seated athletes, I don't worry about the safety thing. I worry about making sure they get a good workout.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Right? Like
That's
I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't want to overscale, but I also like how many days can you do arm day in a row? You
I
know,
mean,
like
do arm day every day, all day
yeah,
every day.
exactly. Which is what I like about what you were saying about Jed's work with you on core work, right? Of
Hmm.
kind of like crawling and doing these, and he posts stuff on his Instagram sometimes that I'm like,
Oh
that's a
yeah,
really interesting way to.
Jed's an amazing coach. It was I want to go back with him, but just right now, funds wise, I'm not able to
Sure.
do it. But I definitely would like to go back. But I also would want a coach in person
Yeah, 100%.
because Jed does his stuff online, which is really cool.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I would definitely want a coach in person to be there to just like push me.
Yeah. All right. Can we do a quick
Yeah.
lightning round?
Yeah, let's go.
All right, dude. So I'm going to call out some movements and you're going to give me your modifications for them. Burpees,
Okay. Burpees, ball slams,
push-ups.
push ups,
Okay. All right. Pull-ups. You can tell I got Murph on
pull
my
ups or
mind
pull
right now.
ups,
Oh, okay. Pull-ups
pull
or
ups or pull
pull-ups.
ups.
You just don't kip in it or anything like that. It's just always strict.
Strict.
Always strict. And we know what you do for rope climbs. I've seen the multi-ropes at the
rope,
games.
rope climbs or rope climbs.
Thrusters.
Strict. Thrusters, push press. Just Strict push press.
Just strict push press. Okay.
Yep.
All right. Well, everybody in the comments will let me know if I left out a movement that they're super curious about. We'll get that figured out. And maybe we'll figure out a squat modification or something like that.
Yeah, I don't know what the squat modification would be. Interesting.
Yeah.
I have to come back to you on that
All
one.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Of course. All right. So more in the traditional flow of a lightning round. If you're in the gym and you get to pick the music all the time, what music are you picking?
It's definitely gonna have to be some. I like a little bit of everything, man.
Okay.
From rock to Taylor Swift. I can go either end of the spectrum.
All right. Let's just, if you had to go Taylor Swift, where are you going? What era? What Taylor era are you in?
Oh man! But here's the thing, though: the mixes that happen with those things. That
Okay.
is the.
I gotcha.
That's the key. The mixes that happen with those, like when they mix them with all different things, like it goes from Lil Wayne to Taylor Swift, or
sure, like Love Story into Stairway to Heaven, and you're just like, I'm losing it right now. This is amazing.
Not Love Story, probably more, what's that song? Is that
Antihero?
Huh?
Antihero?
Not Antihero. No.
Okay.
What's the name of that song? Can't think of it. But
doom. Psh. Oh no. Oh no. Karma.
Okay. Yeah. Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
We're leaving that in. I'll trim it up a little bit, but we're leaving that in. That was two men who knew that they needed to nail this one.
That was good. Yeah, that's a good one. Like when they mix Taylor Swift songs with all the EDM stuff.
Yeah. It's so good.
And it hits and those beats drop.
Uh-huh.
It's over.
You're done. It's all good.
Is it? And then like my gym now has some really good mixes. I don't know where they get them from, but they're pretty good.
Yeah.
Like they mixed like the Rocky anthem came in on one of the songs. It was pretty cool. I was like,
okay.
I was singing.
You're like, I'm supposed to be breathing right now, but
yeah.
I love it. I'm
a singer. I'm a singer in the gym. When the song comes on and I'm like mid workout, I'm singing.
I love it, dude. If we ever do CrossFit the musical, where I'm calling you up, okay?
Oh, I'm there.
I'm
there. I'm there for sure.
All right. So we're going to wrap up. As we get ready to wrap up, I want you to share about two big lifts that you've hit. One of them I kind of stumbled across in the 2023 wheel-wod games. And then another one was this past year at the game. So tell me about the big lift in 2023.
So the big lift in 23 was it was a bench press. It was a bench press workout. And we had some little skinny benches, like the size of my vertebrae in the middle.
Yeah.
I mean,
right.
I'm exaggerating, but they were very probably. I mean, you guys know what crunch gym bench. Like if you go to Crunch or
I mean, just what you would find in a CrossFit gym. Yeah, basically, right?
No,
like
not a CrossFit gym. No,
like 12 inches, right?
No, these were like 7, 8.
Oh my. Okay.
No, not they weren't. These were like what you would find at like a regular like gym.
Okay.
Like they were much more narrow than a rope bench.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you had to bench on that.
Had to bench on that. So we put 315 on the bar for my last lift, and I had to get it 3 times. And I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to do it with the wobbliness I had on it, but I got it up. Once I got one, I was like, okay, let me balance this way. My left arm stayed good, and then I was like, okay, right arm, okay. So I pushed up second one, and then the third one I was just like a struggle balancing both sides, got it up, and that was it. I mean, the
Wow.
Rosie went crazy on the the commentator. It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then this last one in the games last year, I had never, I think my highest that I'd done at the gym working out was like 125.
For a
And then
clean.
for a clean. And then I got 125. And then I was like, okay, we got to try 130, got a PR. And I got 130. And then just over that part, when we did that, I found out something about my lifts, like having the weights closer to my body. I get more power that way.
Okay.
So when I got it here, and being that they were shorty bars, which was beautiful, it was a beautiful thing. I was like, oh, okay. So the weights were here, and it was just, and I got it up, and that was
That's
a
awesome.
cool moment too. So working on getting better at the cleans.
Yeah. So if someone who's able-bodied wants to experience what it's like to bench without hip function, without most of your abdominal
without hip
control.
function, without leg drive, you can't do any of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no leg drive, no hip function. For me, it's all shoulders and back and traps.
Wow. Okay. So
Yeah.
somehow get your feet up on the bar or feet up on the bench or something like that to keep your feet from being able to.
For an able-bodied person, they just need to put their feet on the bar and
On the bench.
feet up on the bench.
Yeah.
Yeah, put their feet on the bench and or put some boxes beside the bar. Beside the bench, and put your feet up. Or put the box in front of the bench. Put your feet up, and then go for a bench press there. So for me, I just activate my back, and I kind of lock my back on like my scapula, lock it around the bench.
Yeah.
And just push.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Awesome. And if
That's
someone wants to try a seated power clean, they could probably do it from a box or something like that, right?
Yep. Come grab my chair. I'll let you hold my chair for a second.
There we go.
But yeah, you can try box, but being in a chair would be more like it because with the box you can move around a little bit more.
Yeah.
It's a lot more space, but with the chair you have to just strictly don't push up with your feet. Have your feet on the foot plate.
That's right. And you probably and you're a little bit more constricted in the bar path too, probably with the chair, because you got to avoid the chair too in your bar path. Yeah. All right. For sure. Well, as we wrap up, David, I got two final questions for you. If someone new to adaptive CrossFit is listening to this podcast, how would you encourage them?
Just get out there and try it. You can scale, modify anything to what you can do, and just keep going because you're gonna surprise yourself. The more consistent you are, the better you're gonna get at it. And if you keep going, keep pushing, you'll surprise yourself for sure.
Cool. And then if you could go back and encourage a younger version of yourself, what would you tell them?
Younger version of me. Don't get credit cards.
Okay. Yes. This is the Adaptive Athlete podcast, not the Dave Ramsey podcast.
I didn't say it.
No, that's great advice, though.
No, younger version of me. I would say tune in on your diet. Okay. It's 80% diet is what you do, how you feel and what you do.
Yeah.
Diet is definitely more important than almost anything else. That's what I would tell my younger self.
Ooh.
Think more into your diet.
Yeah. That's what Matt needed to hear right now after having 2 pieces of birthday cake right before coming on this call.
No, seriously. Yeah, man, diet is definitely, really last 5 years is really when I realized, shoot, diet's super important.
Mm-hmm. Kind of just fuels the whole thing.
Yep.
Well, David, thanks for being on the podcast, man. It's so good to get to talk to you. It was so great to meet you at Sea-Dog, and I'm looking forward to seeing you around at more competitions. It sounds like it sounds like you're a semifinalist.
I'm hoping. We'll see.
I think if the math we did before we went live is mathin', I think you're good.
I'm hoping we are. I mean, if we do, I'm gonna try my best to get that top 10, man. Dude, get to Vegas.
I'm so excited for you, man. I hope it does work out. And,
yeah, man.
Thanks for being on the podcast, dude.
Yeah, man. No problem.
All right, I'll talk to you later.
All right, later, man.
Thanks so much for joining us for this episode of the podcast. If you're a Swiftie, you were probably sitting there during that musical piece, squirming in your chair, wanting to shout out Karma. Sorry for that. As I was re-listening to it, I was amazed that it took me and us that long to figure out what that song was. Nevertheless, we are always Team Swiftie here at the Adaptive Athlete Podcast. Now, one thing that I found really interesting about my conversation with David was, quite honestly, I was super curious. I had never really spoken at length with a seated one athlete before to understand some of the ways that the lack of hip function and the lack of core stability impacts them when they work out. And maybe you had some of those similar questions. Maybe you have never met or worked with an athlete that has a lack of hip function. I want to recommend to you something that I've probably recommended a number of times on this show, and that's the Adaptive Training Academy. They go by ATA for short. You can find them on Instagram. You can also find them at ata.fit. That's ata.fit on the internet. And they actually have 2 upcoming cohorts that you can be a part of if you want to learn how to be an adaptive trainer. The first one is online only, and it'll be May 22nd to June 26th. And that's fully online. You can sign up for that on their website. And if you're in person or you want to take a trip up to Canada, why not? They're doing a seminar course in Windsor, Canada, June 7th and 8th of this summer. You can go up there and learn all about how to train adaptive athletes. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast wherever you get podcasts, Apple, Spotify, Overcast, wherever you get your podcasts, we're there. Subscribe, rate, and review the podcast and share it with a friend. We'd love to spread the word about adaptive athletics. And to all of our athletes that are listening to this, good luck on your retests that are probably happening today and tomorrow. We're rooting for all of you guys to make it to the games, as many of you that can. I'd love to see you all there. I'm Matt Hotho, and I'll catch you guys next time.